My guest today wins an award for the longest distance ever for a guest on this podcast. No, I didn't go to visit him and he didn't come to visit me. It was actually done over Zoom. But after growing up in Visalia, California, and playing high school football there, he went on to junior college. He would then go on to attend the University of Hawaii. That's right, Hawaii. Now, I wish we would have done this interview in person. Maybe I could have hopped on a plane and gone to Hawaii, but we didn't. We did Zoom. Either way, I think you'll appreciate his story. Let me go ahead and introduce you to my new friend, Gene Pryor.
Welcome to the Unscripted podcast. My name's Corby LaCroix, and the song you're hearing right now is called Great and Mighty One, available on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your music. But for now, recording from the Unscripted studio at the Junction in Old Hilliard, here's your host and my friend, Aaron Conrad.
Great Redeemer, God of grace.
All right, everybody, welcome to Unscripted from my studio here in Hilliard, Ohio. And Corby, thank you for the introduction on audio as always. Oh, man, this is a first tonight, another Unscripted first. I've never done an interview with somebody in Hawaii. So we got a little bit of a time difference between us, but I'm excited. I'm excited about doing an interview with somebody in Hawaii. So let my guest introduce himself, and then we'll talk about why you're in Hawaii.
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm Gene Pryor. I play football at the University of Hawaii, from California, Central California, Visalia. Happy to be here.
Now, you said Visalia, so this is a good quiz for anybody that listens to the show regularly, is they should maybe know somebody else that's from Visalia who was just on recently and had to explain to us the geography of California and where exactly Visalia is. But that being said, it was Caitlin. I won't make people go back and listen. It was our friend Caitlin, mutual friend. And as soon as she was done with her episode, she said, you have to have Gene on and let him tell his story. So let's start there, man. Let's start in the beginning where let's start in California, because I have a question that she asked me to ask you later, and then a comment that she made for you that I have to share with you before we get off. But man, let's start in California.
Okay, so I grew up in Southern California, LA area. I was there for the first about 7 years of my life. I grew up, I had two parents, my sister, and I had originally moved to Visalia after my mom had passed away when I was the age of 7. So I moved there, and my dad just thought it was a better place. That was where they originally had met, and so we just moved to Visalia and just kind of start over and start new.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about your mom. Today's actually would have been my mom's birthday, so I know what that's like, and it's tough, man. I'm sorry. I am sorry to hear about that. I really am. I have a place in my heart for those that have lost a parent. So you were in Visalia, and when did you meet Caitlin?
I met Caitlin. It was around junior year, senior year of high school. She was playing softball at the time, and I was playing football, and so we just kind of met and just gelled together.
There you go. All right. So football in Visalia, and that I assume became part of your life because now you're in Hawaii. So take us through. I mean, did you always want to play football? At a Division I level, like what was recruiting like? All right, I'm going to ask that question in a second. What was Let's just talk. What was it like going through recruiting before Hawaii? Because I'm interested in that. So, like, how much recruiting did you do? Did you make the big tour? Did you go a lot of places? What was that like coming out of high school?
Okay. So actually, out of high school, I went to junior college. I'll rewind it back a little bit. So eighth grade year was really my first year, like playing tackle football. I played Little League. I played for the Visalia Pioneers at the time. That was kind of like a feeder into Mount Whitney High School, the high school I went to. And so that was my first year playing football. I went to high school freshman year. I wasn't really all that. I thought I was a basketball player. To be honest with you, I had dreams going to the NBA, until reality had set in when I turned on ESPN one day and they were showing the All-Star Showcase.
Yeah.
for like the high schoolers and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I saw them boys dunking and stuff like that. And they were like 6'7", 6'8", and they're like freshmen in high school. I'm over here 6'2", maybe pushing 6'3", and I'm like, okay, let's step back into reality. Let's go back to football here.
All right.
And so freshman year of high school, I played tight end for the freshman team. And, I wasn't really all that hot, but sophomore year is when I really kind of took off because I started to play O-line and I got bigger. I got to like around like 250 around there, I would say. And I played left tackle for Mount Whitney High School. And then my career just kind of like took off. I've been working my butt off sophomore year of high school. And then I kind of had some colleges come in. They wanted to recruit me and whatnot. And then junior year is where it really kind of took off. I played offensive line and defensive line. And so I had a couple Pac-12 schools, mainly Mountain West schools, come and look at me and recruiting me. Senior year, I was still on the same level. I had more colleges come in and recruit me. Colleges somewhere around University of Arizona, the Wildcats. I had like San Diego State, I had Colorado State, I had Nevada, Fresno State at the time, schools like that. And after senior year, it didn't really pan out for me in the classroom. And so I had to make that decision to go to junior college. And I went to junior college in my hometown, COS, College of Sequoias. I played there for 2 years. It was some of the best 2 years. It was the best 2 years of my life. I met a lot of my brothers were there. And then Hawaii actually came through my sophomore year after it was like kind of like at the end of the football season. I started talking to them, and I had received an offer from them. And then I came on a visit. I had met Coach Rolo here, and it was on a drive. It was during my recruiting visit on the drive. That's when I kind of made my decision out of Juca that I was going to come here and play football.
Wow. I mean, so, I love that. I love that you didn't take the traditional route, because I think a lot of people think that, but I love that you recognize, first of all, I mean, I think we all thought we were going to go to the NBA. I mean, I thought I was going to be a point guard for the Cavs, man. So,
yeah,
that's true. That's real. Even though I didn't even play in high school. So I did win an intramural championship though. So I thought that would solidify me for the Cavs, but it never happened.
That's something.
Something, right? Hey, I'm an intramural champion forever. They can't take it away. All right. But you went that route and then made those decisions, because some people will chase that dream, and really don't have that talent. And then you went into football, which clearly you have the skills to play. I appreciate too, honestly, when I went off to college, I think I think a lot of kids have to grow up a little bit, when I went off to college, I had to grow up a little bit, and I failed, and I was actually an accounting minor, and I failed it. And so I had to take it. My parents made me take it in the summer to, that's because I failed it. So I had to take it again. And then I ended up it didn't transfer over. So I had to take it a third time, which was fun. But I loved junior college. I liked the atmosphere. It really helped me kind of get my head right and all those things. So anyway, completely different story. But I liked it. I liked the vibe. I liked the feel. I really liked it. So I think that's a great route that you've taken to get there. So now, how in the world do they recruit for Hawaii? Did they fly you to Hawaii?
Yeah, they give you the offer, and then they fly you out here. You fly. I flew Hawaiian Airlines out here, and so it was me and my two parents, and then we came out here and took a visit. Pretty nice.
Pretty nice, he said. Pretty nice. Yeah, I imagine it's. Had you ever been there before?
No. When I came here. When I came here, it was like eye opening, because I come from where in California, people think like sunny beaches and everything, but like where I come from, it's a lot of cattle ranches and a lot of dairy farms and stuff like that. So I'm used to dirt roads and whatnot, and mountains. And I came out here and it was like nice and sunny. Everybody had a pina colada and whatnot. So I'm like, oh, okay, so it's a different vibe out here. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's got to be a huge recruiting tool for them. It's Hawaii. I mean, what else do you need? That's got to be a massive thing. And I don't know how you go back to anywhere else. I mean, That's really cool. That would be very, very cool to even just visit. We've never been. My wife wants to go to Hawaii. That's on her bucket list. And so do you just love it out there?
Oh yeah. I mean, when I first came out here, it was definitely a culture shock because like I said, I come from Yosemite, Sequoia area. So, I'm used to mountains. When I came out here, it was like a lot of surfing and stuff like that. But a lot of my teammates, they're from out here. Some are from Samoa, and some are from Tonga, and so they took me in, and they showed me around like all the cool spots and all the cool beaches and whatnot. And so it made it that much like homier. I wasn't really homesick after like how it first was. Now I'm wearing slippers every day. I'm going to the beach every day. So I love it out here.
I was just going to ask, so do you go home now at all? I mean, or do you just stay? Like, do you just lock in and this is home?
Oh, no, I go home during like breaks like Christmas and stuff like that. But like when I'm out here, one thing I had to learn since my time out here, I've been out here for a couple of years now. So my parents, my family's always told me, soak up where you are and like be where your feet are, and smell the roses and all that good stuff. And I never really understood that until I started to spend more time here and I started to step back and think, wow, like, you know what I mean? I'm in Hawaii and God really blessed me with this opportunity to be out here and come from where I come from, I was just so grateful and I just take in every moment that I can now. So I'm happy.
That's awesome. I can't imagine, honestly, how beautiful it must be out there. All right. So that leads me to the question that I'm supposed to ask you via our friend Caitlin. Can you tell me about your moped?
Yeah. So I ride a moped out here. That's how I get around. I don't got a car like how I do back home. So, me and the moped, a lot of the boys on the team have a moped actually. That's like it's one of the main sources of transportation out here. So, that's how we get around.
Is that right? She said it was very funny. Anyway, I was supposed to ask you about the moped. So let me pull up really quick because she texted it to me. I need to make sure I say it right. She wanted me to tell you there is nobody more deserving of the success you have achieved already, and keep working, and that she's very, very proud of you. That is directly from Miss Caitlin. So there you go. I'm just a messenger. My dog's barking. Well, all right. So what's the plans next?
I don't know. I've had I guess you could say some success since I've been here. It's changed over time. When I first came out here, the whole plan was to finish school and then go back home and be a cop. But since coming out here and being with my family, I've been working pretty hard, and so I don't know what the future holds, what God has planned for me, whether that be the NFL or being a cop, or I'm also looking into being a coach. I'm not really sure of how that's going to go, but I'm just going along for the ride. God's brought so many blessings into my life that I'm excited to where he's going to take me next. So,
and you said I think she said you're criminology major, right? Is that right? Did I say that right?
Yeah, criminology, sociology major, and so that's always been my backup. Just if I've always known, like if football don't work out, I heard something about Dominican Sue. He said a while back, he was like a lot of guys just try to go through college and just say I'm a football player, but you need to have something to fall back on. And so that was always my plan ever since I came into COS. And so I'm prepared. Whatever happens in the future, if it's being a cop or being a football player, I'm gonna do my best to be the best person I can each one. So.
And this is senior year, right? This is your senior year?
Yeah, this is my my COVID year. So last year was supposed to be my senior year, but this year, this is my official senior year. So yeah,
that's a great point. What was COVID like in Hawaii?
I actually was able to go home and spend much needed time with my family back home and train there. So it was I can't really say speak on that, but when I came back, we were still on lockdown, obviously, because we couldn't do anything with football as far as that goes. So it was kind of silent around here. There wasn't any tourists. They had shut the island down, so it was very different, very quiet. The beaches were clear. Waikiki was nowhere, like no people in sight. You could see all the way down Waikiki. So it was pretty crazy for the amount of time that the hard like COVID times was around. So yeah.
I mean, being that it was its own island, that's. I mean, I assume it had to make its way there somehow. Probably tourists. Well, actually, that's probably exactly how I got there. Was tourists, right? I imagine. Well, so is it very touristy? Is that a word? I don't know if that's a word.
I believe so. You can use it.
All right, it is now. No, are there a lot of tourists? I mean, is it, do you find that there's a ton of tourists? Like, I've never been. So is it like Orlando where, it's full of tourists or like, something like that? Or is there a pretty good mix?
No, it's pretty full of tourists. It's mainly in the main spots. Like Waikiki is a big tourist spot because that's where all the hotels are and whatnot. And so we have a lot of tourists here, but I don't really there's always good. That's why it's nice to live here, because there's always spots where you can go where there's not that many tourists that they don't know about. Like tourist people don't know about the good spots. So that's the upside of living here and learning, learning the local ways. So
right. Favorite part of living in Hawaii?
My favorite part of living in Hawaii, I guess, would be the weather. Yeah. Every day I'm waking up, I'm wearing short sleeves, shorts, and flip flops every day. I go to practice, and this is at like 5 a.m. I'm going to practice. So like it's always nice to wake up to nice weather, because back home it's getting cold right now, and the rain is no joke. And you know what I mean? So yeah. All you gotta have a sweater on back home. But I like out here the weather and then the culture, just like how it's so family and welcoming, and everybody's out here living in aloha spirit. And so that's always nice to have.
What's the least favorite thing about Hawaii?
The least favorite thing about Hawaii, humidity.
Really? Is it humid?
Yeah, it's humid every day. And so like you mainly feel it during practice. So like after it rains, that's when the humidity is going to hit. So you got to be ready. And so at practice, we always say like when it rains and then when the sun pops out, we always know the humidity will follow after that. So,
oh man, yeah, I hate humidity. Ugh. Okay, but because I always pictured it to just be paradise. Like it's not, the weather's perfect. And well, you're from California, like San Diego. San Diego's like perfect. I mean, yeah, I don't. That's interesting. I never thought of the humidity there. So, what was the biggest thing you had to adjust to?
The biggest thing I had to adjust to, just not being able to drive anywhere. That's like what they I believe they call it island fever. Mm-hmm. It didn't hit me. It didn't hit me until it was like one day where me and a couple teammates went down to the beach, and I was just sitting there, and I was like just thinking to myself, like I was looking out at the ocean actually, and I was just thinking to myself like, wow, like I can't go home. Like right now I can't go home. I have to schedule a flight. I have to fly out of here, and that's when that's what one of my hard spots was, because I miss my family, and I wanted to go see them, but I can't just leave like that. So that's why I had to face reality and get used to that. This is my new home for the time being while I'm here. And so that was like my reality of it all. So
yeah. Well, how's the season going?
The season's going pretty good. We start off with a rough start with the loss to UCLA, and then we started to pick it up, but with a win against Portland State, and we beat New Mexico State, and then we just beat Fresno. That was my hometown team, so that was pretty huge for me. That was nice to have under our belts, and so now we're getting ready for Nevada. So we actually fly out tomorrow. So teams come in to play you, clearly. So how many road games, how many home games do you guys have? I'm not completely sure about that, but I think we have more away games than we do home games. So I think it's pretty uneven. So we have 13 games total in the season. Okay. And so I don't know how that balances out exactly.
Is there has to be some kind of an adjustment. I mean, that's in a way that's got to be an unfair advantage for you guys when you travel, because there's a time difference, right? So when you play a game, let's say you played Fresno. So what was that time difference like?
For them, it was like I think it was a 3-hour time difference, 3-4 hour time difference.
Okay. All right. So it's like if somebody from Ohio flew over to California to play a game. It's still probably a long flight though, right? I mean, do you guys find that that's a disadvantage for you?
Now the flights are usually about 5-6 hours to get to somewhere minimum. And so we don't really look at it as a disadvantage because the way our culture and our program is built over here, like we're ready for anything at any time. And so like when we go to away games and stuff like that, we don't really use time difference as as a excuse for a win or a loss because we're already prepared for that. You know what I mean? So the way we train, the way we wake up every day, we're ready for anything. So
awesome. Well, in the same way, it may be an advantage for you for home games that other teams have to make the same trip that you guys would have to make to go play them. So I guess there would probably be a home field advantage of sorts.
Yeah, in some cases, yeah, like for teams who aren't like really prepared and they haven't really done that before, it could affect them. You know what I mean? The time differences, and especially if they haven't prepared for it. Because like when we go somewhere, we leave like a day and a half early usually, and so when we get there, we get adjusted to the time difference already, and we really like focus on the football schedule. So if we're focused on the football schedule, the time change doesn't really hit you, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's interesting. It's all very fascinating to me. So how many students, what's enrollment like at Hawaii? Do you know?
Nah, not really the enrollment thing, but we have a good amount of students from the mainland and like everywhere else. Like our school is like very diverse because we have people from all over Australia, Japan, mainland here, Samoa, and so it's pretty diverse. You know, Philippines and all that good stuff. So.
Wow, that's fairly interesting. Well, man, this has been fascinating. Is there anything else you want to share about your story or anything like that with the audience?
We might have to do another show. I don't know.
Right.
We might have to do another one to go deeper into my life story.
Hey, that's cool, man. You know, you got a gold ticket. You know, you got an open invite whenever you want to come on. The next time we have to have a third host join us, and then you all can, you know, talk about the days in California. But and that was actually, I thought we were gonna have two firsts tonight. My first guest from Hawaii, and then also my first co-hosted podcast. But be that as it may, here we are. So yes, okay, open invite. Yeah, man, always welcome to come back on. How can we follow you? What's the best way? Like ESPN? Does your family watch games? Like how could the audience follow you and your journey the rest of your year?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram, my Twitter, or my Facebook. My families have Facebooks, and when I say my families, I mean like my four parents. They have a Facebook, and you guys can follow them on there. You'll see them if you guys follow me on Facebook and stuff like that. So
cool.
It'll be the easiest way.
All right. And what are the socials, the tags?
My social for Instagram is Gene Pryor. And then you'll see like a picture of my football and me in my football gear. Okay. And then my Twitter is Gene Pryor 2014.
Gene Pryor 2014. All right. And I will have those in the post as well. I'll have those links. How do your parents watch games?
They watch them usually online. It's through like a stadium app that they have. So that way, because people over here, they watch it through Spectrum. So my parents don't have Spectrum. And so they watch the stadium app, or like if it's on like CBS, they'll watch it on CBS, or like ESPN, depending on the game.
Yeah, like a ESPN3 might carry some of those games, right?
Yeah, ESPN3 or ESPNU usually, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Biggest win you've had since you've been there?
The biggest win? Oh, there's been a couple. The biggest win, I'd have to say, out of all of them, for me personally, Fresno State.
Both. Yeah, either one.
Fresno State.
Fresno State. Okay, sorry. Yeah. And then what about for the team?
For the team, I have to say one of the biggest ones that we've had is 2018 when we beat San Diego State to get into the Hawaii Bowl.
Right.
So that was a pretty big win because before that was like beginning of my recruiting class, and before that, when we got in, a new team came in and kind of made a big splash and was able to turn things around for the program, and that's when we really got our feet wet and getting started into building again. So
awesome.
That was pretty big for us.
Very cool. Well, there's no question why Caitlin said you have to have this guy on. There's no question. I think anybody that's listening to this would agree. Fascinating story. Just even the Hawaii aspect of it is pretty amazing. And I don't know my geography really well, as people have probably picked up throughout the podcast. But be that as it may, really interesting, man. You're always welcome to come back. And again, next time we'll have to have a co-host with us too, so she can ask some questions, and you guys can and you can ask questions of her. But no, that would be great, and I appreciate your time, man. I really do. I'll be following along the rest of the season, and just to see how you're doing, and really, I'd love to have you come back on and talk about future too. Once you get those plans locked in, I know there's probably a lot up in the air right now. I'm not sure what you're going to do. Is there any possibility you would stay in Hawaii after you graduate?
The plan is to move back home. I've been away for enough time. And so it's after I'm done here, I'm definitely going to miss it. Mm-hmm. I was actually reminiscing about that the other day. And so it's going to be hard. It's going to be a very hard goodbye, but it's not a goodbye. It's a see you later. I'll be back, so.
Very cool. Well, let me go ahead and say that one more time. What she said. She said there's nobody that is more deserving of the success that you have achieved already, and to keep working, and that she's very proud of you. So I'm just the messenger, but that was her words, and I can see why she would say those words. It's been an honor to spend some time with you, and I'll be watching Hawaii, man. Absolutely.
Appreciate you.